Hey everybody, Soul here, and today we're looking at Expert Abyssal Precipice. First boss in this place is Kale or something. He's pretty easy. He will occasionally drop a circular AoE on the ground, and a stalagmite will form from it. The reason that's important is that because we will need to line of sight behind the stalagmite once the boss does his emote and starts channeling right there. Everybody, including the tank, needs to be behind that. Once it goes off, just go back and pick him up, and that stalagmite will eventually disappear, and he will do another one. And there will be occasions where he puts a debuff on one person. You can see it there, that flashing white thing. It will suck anybody else that's near that person into them, which is annoying, so if you see somebody get with that, just stay away from them. He will bug out occasionally and do like 2 stalagmites in a row, in which case just line of sight behind the second one. That's pretty much it. Pretty simple fight. Alright, next boss in here is Ice Talon. This is actually a 2-part boss where you get to fight the Falconer first. All of the ranged and DPS and everybody except the tank is going to be on the cliff here because throughout the fight you will get picked up and thrown, and if you don't have your back to a mountain, you'll get thrown pretty far. You'll see this first guy here, he'll summon little ads, you can just AoE them down, they're not a big deal. Keep doing that until the Falconer goes down. Once he goes down, he's going to actually summon Ice Talon when he gets down to about, like, I don't know, 10 or 20% health, but you can usually have him dead by the time the Ice Talon boss actually gets here. And what Ice Talon is going to do is fly in, and then the tank will pick him up in the same position that he's tanking the Falconer at right now, and occasionally Ice Talon will pick us up and throw us, so again, just have your back to a wall and you should be alright. Okay, Majolik? Maholik? I don't know, whatever. He's a pretty easy boss. Phase 1, it takes about 10 seconds. Just start attacking until he gets to about half health. Have everybody run out, because he's going to do an AoE and transform. There you see him channeling it right there. And what will happen then is he will turn into his actual true form, and we will pick him up. The only special thing he does, he puts a dot on people, but it doesn't hurt at all. But he will occasionally encase somebody in a crystal, just DPS it down. I know you guys have seen this mechanic about 100 times by now, so I'm sure you can figure out what to do. And that's it for this guy. Alright, Renthar can be tricky if you don't know what you're doing. So here's the deal. He will, throughout the course of the fight, drop one or two AoEs on the ground, and then go into a channeled spell. And what happens is, when he starts channeling that, the person farthest away from him needs to line of sight him. So you can see I'm doing that roll right now, and you just stay back there for about 5 or 6 seconds. Here's the reason why. When he starts channeling that, he's going to target the person farthest away, and if he has line of sight when that channel finishes, he's going to start bouncing all over the room, starting usually with the person he was focused on, and just charge them, hitting them for a whole lot, and then bounce around to a couple other people. Generally, somebody will die during that phase if they don't line of sight him. So you can see he probably does it about 3 times during this fight, and each time I just line of sight, and then you can see him, he's just going to stand there kind of confused because he can't hit me, and then you can go back out and start hitting him again. The only problems that you may have is if he drops an AoE on your location when you're waiting to line of sight him. That's why you see me standing pretty far from that pillar that I'm line of sighting him behind, so I don't get in a position where I don't have anything to hide behind. So that one may take a little bit of work, but with proper timing you should be able to get by this guy. Alright, the last boss, Calyx. I think he looks more intimidating than he actually is, because it seems like there's a lot of stuff going on, but it's really not that difficult. The most obvious thing, you see the peace sign radiating from him. Don't get hit by it, obviously, because it does damage. Second thing, he'll drop a white AoE on the ground, which you can see me standing in. I didn't get fully out of it like I thought I did, so I got encased in ice. That by itself is not a big deal. The problem is when I'm encased in ice, I can't avoid the laser, and you saw it just hit me there for about 1500. Not a huge deal if the tank gets hit by that, but you don't want to be having anybody else getting hit by that, so stay out of the AoE. And then at one point he's going to do an emote and cast a spell that will drop everybody's health at 20% to 20%. There it is right there. The only reason that'll be a problem is one of two things. Either if that person also gets hit by a laser at the same time, or if he has his shield up. You can see he has a shield on right now. Purge it off whenever it's up, because it does damage to anybody who's hitting him. You can see whoever's supposed to be purging is failing at that. But that's really the only thing you need to be concerned with in this fight. Avoid the lasers, don't get in the AoE, and purge that shield off. And that way your healer should be able to get everybody back up to full health after he does his 20% attack. So a couple rounds of practice there and you should be good.